Hey, welcome back to Community Group. We've been off for a few weeks now.
It's been like 2 weeks,
Yeah, but with our brand new series that we're dropping, this is so important, this conversation that we're having. And let me just say right now, if you happen to be a high schooler, I mean, you can hang out, but you're in the wrong place.
There's a better video that you can go watch.
There's a more appropriate video for you coming up
Better.
really soon, being led by this guy. Today, if you're a middle schooler, you are in the right spot. This is carrying over the conversation that I started with you just a few days ago on big picture. And so, again, for our community group time, we're going to have this kind of guided conversation, but really the hope is that you're taking some time and pausing this video, taking some time at the end to look at the questions and own kind of this discussion. We're just here to kind of, help guide you, not make it so weird.
You did a great job on Sunday of kind of setting up the series, and you left off with the bottom line of when you can't see the bigger picture, you always need to remind yourself that you have an impact on your family, and it kind of leads itself to the question of, what's one way you think you might be causing like conflict or tension in your family. So we just went from a really deep question to now we're going to go to a little shallower question. When it comes to family, which is more important, getting all of the attention or getting none of the attention? And you can't cheat and say the middle ground.
You can't say more important. I mean, if I can't cheat and say the right answer, then I would say it's better to get all the attention because I need some that I can't do.
A little too extroverted.
I'm too extroverted to have none of the attention. However, being a dad, I know that my kids would also all answer those questions differently. You might answer that question differently. I don't know. Yeah.
So what's a time where you did something or said something that made a family member mad?
So I want to rat out my kids, but I will not do that.
So
I will own this one. I will own this one, but an impact on how it had with my kids. So very recently, we were going to do a nice thing by taking the kids to the local Sonic close to their school, and it was jam-packed, probably with lots of their school friends and schoolmates, but they made the mistake of saying that someone that I also knew was 2 cars down and pulled in. And so I wanted to have the brilliant idea of jumping out of the car and going and dancing in the middle of the Sonic and waving and say hello and making a big fool of myself. And my kids were like, no, don't, please, no, don't do this, no. And their kind of cries of just no, please don't. As I began, I couldn't open the door. I couldn't, because the thing is there at Sonic and I kept hitting it. So I was moving, putting the car in drive to try to get up closer or backwards to get out of the vehicle. And my kids began to go no, don't you dare. And I could see in the back their faces just turning beet red and to desperation, and a little maddening that Dad would jump out and embarrass them in the middle of
See,
Sonic.
here's the thing. I know you saw the big picture, which is why you did what you did.
Sure. Yes, that's exactly right. So those things are so close to where you park. It's just
so close to where you park. Why is it sometimes hard to see the bigger picture when it comes to family?
And this is really the crux of what we need to talk about and think about. I think, again, for me, I tend to see myself in the starring role of my life. I mean, we take in the world around us through our own eyes and our own ears, and everything's from our perspective and our point of view. And if we're not careful, we just reinforce that idea that I'm the starring role. And so it's in doing that, it's harder to see the big picture and the role that I play in my family and other areas of my life. And I think that naturally I'm selfish, and naturally you might be selfish, or naturally your family may be small. You may be a single child, and so it often feels as though you are the only attention, and the world does revolve around you. Or your family dynamics, even with siblings. I think we have bad reinforcements that tell us sometimes too that we're the center of attention, the center of our world. We're in our starring role, and instead it's just difficult to work ourselves into that supporting role, into seeing the bigger picture, into realizing that there's other people that play, other dynamics that play at school or at home or in the areas of our life in God's kingdom. And we need to work diligently at continually doing that, working against that on the center of attention. I got to see the bigger picture. I got to see how things are beyond me, and it's just difficult.
So starring role, supporting role, big picture, attention, family, all that stuff sounds really good, but I need something physical, something tangible. I'm a doer.
I think two things that we can leave here with to do is one of them is to make sure that we have another person to be accountable to outside of our family. And you might be like, yeah, I got a friend. Yeah, but your friend might also be going through some goofiness as well. And so
That's true.
one of the reasons why we want to make sure that we're back here, you guys are seeing this, tuning in, because that's what we're here for. I mean, we would love to be someone outside of your family that you can come to and be like, hey, this is what I'm going through. That's why your small group leader is so important. That is another trusted adult that we want to be integrated into your life so that when something's happening, you can text them or call them in the middle of the night or early in the morning or in the middle of the day and say, can you help?
They're pretty awesome like that.
Yeah, and they would love to. Because I think that someone outside of our family that we trust, and especially who is seeking after God and who has that as their kind of foundation, is someone who's going to help you make wise choices as well after God's own heart and purpose for your life. And then the thing that you can do on your own individually is really this XP that we talked about at the end of the talk. I told you this is coming, and one of these is every single week. This is something just for you to do that only you can answer this. We can't answer this for you. And so every week one of these is be coming where it's the bottom line, words trying to come out of my mouth. The bottom line, when I can't see the bigger picture, I can remember the impact I have on my family. How? By kind of going through some of these questions. And so I encourage you to take the time to self-evaluate, to answer these questions. This is how my family feels when I use hurtful words. For some of you, you're going to get stuck right there because you're going to have to think and admit that you actually use hurtful words. This is how my family feels when I don't do what I'm told. This is how my family feels when I only think about myself. For some of you, you're going to think about that one as well. Go, how is it that I only think about myself? This is how I can show my family that I love them. And this is how I can put what's best for my family before what's best for me. And those are going to be some tangible things that only you can do. And so taking this seriously, this seems easy, but you know what? Answering it and then doing it, it's really difficult. And this can guide your prayer time. I mean, oh my goodness. Take some time, evaluate, do this, and then come back, connect with me or Austin, connect with your small group leader, and allow this to shape your prayer time. And those are some real huge steps forward that you can take in really figuring out how to do this.
Words. You got them. Hey, so thanks for joining us. We had a lot of fun. Make sure that if you haven't, go check the video that dropped on Sunday with this bearded man. There's another one coming this next Sunday. It's going to be week 2. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be great. That can be found.
It's at 10 o'clock.
It's at 10 a.m. in the morning. Some of you definitely are awake by then. That PDF and stuff will be down in the description, all that fun jazz. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week.